everybody. My name's Timothy. I'm here with Francisco and Ava. We are the Sonoma State Movie Review Podcast. This is episode 1, Forrest Gump. We're going to be reviewing one of the most popular movies ever, starring the incredible Tom Hanks.
And shout out to last year was the 30th birthday, so 31 now.
Really?
Yeah,
31.
So happy birthday, Forrest Gump.
Great movie. Most everybody's seen it, but if you haven't, that's okay. We're going to kind of break down the plot and some major themes and important moments in the movie.
No, but for real, just watch it, bro. It's a good movie.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. It's pretty long, but it's a good way to spend your time. Forrest Gump is, the American movie. You see so many decades of American history represented at once in so many critical moments, but I guess, just to start at the beginning, Forrest Gump takes place in the South, in the deep South. Forrest is a young boy who's got a disability that prevents him from walking due to these braces on his legs. So he's very bullied. His father isn't around. He asks his mom, where's dad? And she's like, he's on vacation. And Forrest is like, well, what does that mean? And she says that vacation is when someone leaves and never comes back. So, we know he's not coming home. And one of the very first things we see in the movie is Forrest's mom try to get him into school. Schoolmaster won't have him. This study's 1 point below the threshold. So she has to do a sexual favor for him, basically, to get Forrest into school. It was the first uncomfortable moment in the movie. But they include some humor with that, where when the guy's leaving her house and looks at Forrest and he mimics the noises they were making. I'm not going to do that here myself, but
basically so I think he says something along the lines of, damn, your mother must care about your education or something like that.
Yeah.
And then right after that we get introduced, maybe a couple minutes later on we get introduced to Jenny.
Oh, Jenny,
Jesus Christ, Jenny.
I have bad feelings about Jenny.
So do I.
I don't like
Do you?
No,
Ava?
I think that Jenny is a relatable character. I think that she is flawed in her own very human ways. Oh, Jenny.
Super unlikable.
Very flawed. But when we first meet Jenny, it's feel good. Forrest is being bullied by these boys, typical movie portrayal of bullies ganging up on Forrest, and she tells him to run away, run, Forrest, run. And he just miraculously starts running somehow.
He breaks the braces as he's running.
And very perfectly, all the screws unscrew on his braces and they fall off perfectly, and he starts running.
The amount of lines in this movie that are so
memorable,
iconic,
memorable, but ingrained in American culture, whether or not you've seen it at all or have any reference to, everyone's heard "Run, Forrest, Run," box of chocolates. Those are all
right.
Yeah.
And there's more.
No, the run. Yeah, I know. But the thing is, they don't just. It gets said, but then they also get represented in the movie in so many ways. We'll get to that in a second.
Right, so we have that first moment with Jenny, and then one of the other first moments with Jenny, it's the second, but it's in the beginning of the movie. Forrest follows her home, and they're playing in her big field on their farm, and Jenny's dad is an alcoholic, probably abusive, it's kind of implied, does some pretty horrible things to her and her sisters. And Forrest and her share this moment under the stars, and she talks about wanting to get away, and, dear God, make me a bird so I can fly away. And it's that first kind of bud of romance between them that goes beyond just the regular school crush. And then, this movie does a lot of time jumps. So it begins in the 50s while the southern United States is still desegregated. And then as Forrest is in high school, beginning high school is when we start to see the beginning of the civil rights movement. But first, he's just in high school. He joins the football team because they see him running.
No, but okay, that's okay. So the start of that part was when Jenny. Okay, so they cut into obviously Forrest getting bullied again. It was literally the same exact scene, but the guys were older and they had a car instead of bikes. They
same
had a car.
bully, yeah, the same.
Maybe the same bullies.
Imagine bullying the same guy for that long.
Right, it's like you gotta run out.
That's real beef right there. That's beef though. That's personal beef. But then, okay, so same thing. Jenny, as now she's in high school too, the Run Forrest Run, and then he actually runs. So he runs into a football field or a football practice of the high school,
and these guys see him.
Yeah, and then like the coach was like probably like a school teacher or something. Is when the guy, I don't know, he's some sports guy, scholarship dude. What do they call those sports guys? The ones that go in the games to give scholarships? Scouters.
Oh, wow.
I think it was a scout that said, like, who's that guy? Because he sees him run, and he's like freaking running like
he's a big guy,
speed of lightning. And then the coach, the high school, like, so Forrest Gump is well known around his school to be like the idiot, because that's how the coach describes him.
He looked like a doofus when he ran across the field.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so I kind of understand. And then that's when he gets a scholarship. It all started because the Run Forrest Run. So that's one good thing that came out of that.
Absolutely. And then after high school, we fast forward to college. Jenny's going off to her own women's college, or at least where she lives is like a women's house, a dorm, or sorority. And Forrest just decides to randomly show up out of the blue and go to see her, and she's having like a college boyfriend moment with him, and Forrest like takes it the wrong way and beats the shit out of him.
No, but Forrest, to be fair, homie was getting all up on her, bro.
Yeah, he was being handsy with Jenny, so Forrest...
It was definitely consensual. Jenny should have been more mad at Forrest, but she loves Forrest.
No.
Are we talking about in the car?
Yeah, homie was all up on her,
No,
bro.
I'm talking about when Forrest visited her at
college, yeah.
In the dorm. I thought it was... I
thought
agree
so.
with her.
Yeah, I thought it was consensual. There was a couple moments where Forrest really saved her, but no, like she got out of the car being like, "What are you doing
The reason
here?"
Because homie was touching upon her. She was like pushing him.
The reason we're confused is because Forrest beat up like 8 people for her.
I guess we can't know.
Are
if
you
it was
talking about at the
consensual
party
or not.
where the guy is...
No, not the Black Panther party. I'm talking about the university, because the dude was being too touchy, and then like literally Jenny pushes him away, and homie runs up to the car.
I thought she pushed him because she saw Forrest, I see what you're saying.
Okay, so she's a cheater. She saw Forrest.
She's not a cheater.
Well, she's
not a cheater.
She's a lot of things.
I know, trust me, she is.
So yeah, we see Forrest in college, and we also go back to some of the desegregation there. We see kind of what's a play on what was called the Little Rock Nine crisis when the schools were desegregated. Some southern states, including Arkansas, didn't want to let black students go with white students. So President Eisenhower sent in the Army and National Guard and let them in. And we see in the movie Forrest there as these students are walking in, and one of them drops their pencil, and he picks it up for her, and everybody at home sees it on TV.
Pencil or book?
Something
like that.
Something.
It's another moment of like, is that Forrest? Because there's like 10 times where Forrest is on TV, and the people are at home are just like, is that Forrest? It's funny. How many
people from his hometown, like especially the ones that are I think there was like 2 old guys that were like mocking him for the braces when he was a kid. I feel like there was a clip where they show him,
and they're losers
now. Yeah,
now Forrest is cool.
Dude, they've been losers. Come on, bro, they've been losers.
Right.
Forrest is the winner.
Mm-hmm.
So Forrest goes to college, does great, but then we get to
the touchdown. Don't forget the touchdown.
Okay.
That was a legendary touchdown. One of the funniest scenes in the whole movie, dude. I literally had to like rewind.
Explain it for the listener at home.
Okay, dude, this was such a funny ass scene. So when he's running, sorry about that. He was running for the touchdown, and homie like runs through the cheerleader. He runs through everybody, like straight. Dude, that was one of the funniest scenes ever, bro. Just rewind it, bro. Oh my god, it was so funny.
Yeah, this movie is full of like laugh out loud moments.
Really trampled through the whole crowd for that touchdown. Yeah.
And then after college, we see we're moving into the early mid 60s here. We see Americans starting to go to Vietnam for the Vietnam War, the most useless war, so unnecessary. And we see Forrest go through what's it called? Boot camp. Well, he goes through boot camp.
No, wait, the Jenny part. So there's another Jenny part.
Jenny moment.
A Jenny moment. So
press the Jenny button.
So Jenny button. So she's performing. She's playing her guitar. She's performing at like a strip show, and
she's performing at a bar, like a dive bar.
It's beautiful,
but it's It's a strip club, but
It's
she's not there to do a strip performance.
She's there to play music, but also
she's there to sit naked with her acoustic guitar and sing a song.
She didn't want to do that, but that's what she had to do because it's a fucking strip club, dude. Come on, it's a strip club.
Well, these are women that are elected to. Jenny is doing this job with her free will. I mean,
out of necessity.
Yeah, sure.
And then she gets mad. Oh no, I think Forrest is trying to talk to her or something.
Well, the men in the crowd are yelling at her and throwing things at her and telling her to take off her clothes.
Oh, and homie jumps in. That's
Forrest
jumps in. Oh,
starts beating up more people for Jenny.
That's it.
Jeez.
And she's at work. I mean, she's just trying to be, as much as she's being disrespected at work, she is just trying to do her job. And by having somebody stick up for you sometimes can make you look even weaker, like you need someone to stick up for you.
She didn't want him to do all that. She never wants him to do all that.
Yeah, but at the same time,
she keeps being in these
if
scenarios
it's multiple people, come on, bro. Forrest is a homie. whoever was the director made Forrest he made him the homie.
Little factoid, I gotta look it up and make sure, but I don't think Tom Hanks is that tall. I think they do something. He's 6 feet, but in the movie he's huge. He's 6'4", I think.
You don't think he's that tall?
No,
in real life, he's 6 foot. In the movie, he looks like a huge guy.
Probably put some shoes on him, one of those platform shoes, to make him look bigger.
Right. Do you think they did, or do you think he felt insecure about his height? And
no, because he was way taller than the dude that played the dude with the wheelchair.
Sure.
Lieutenant Dan. He was way taller than him.
Why would a director make Forrest Gump taller intentionally?
Well, because he's a big tall doofus is what he. I don't actually mean that, but that's a character.
Kind of like the Gentle Giant,
Patrick Starr, or
shout out to Patrick though.
Gentle Giant is perfect. He spoke. That's why he's clumsy.
The Patrick show sucks, but shout out Patrick. He's doing his thing.
Oh, the new ripoff or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, after high school and Jenny, Forrest joins the military. We'll talk about Lieutenant Dan in a moment. And then we have Bubba, his friend Bubba. You want to tell us about Bubba?
So Bubba is kind of the same as Forrest in a way, where he's kind of like the Gentle Giant. Something's wrong with his lip. I didn't really get what was wrong. Something with the lip.
He's been tripping. It's like a hook got caught in it. I think it was intentional.
Okay. So sorry, I didn't get that part. And we see so Bubba is just like Forrest. They get along really well, and Forrest is having a blast in the training because he's having a blast. Yeah, homie's yelling in his face, and he's like, "I'm here to do whatever you ask me to say."
Oh, he's talking about the one training. Of the funnier moment when it's the drill inspector.
Drill sergeant.
He's yelling at Forrest Gump, and he's just like. It's so.
He's taking it in. I know, dude. That movie is so good. But yeah, so Bubba gets introduced, but the thing is, he doesn't really last. He doesn't really last that long. I think
he doesn't last that long in a movie, but he's a huge part of the movie, and his legacy continues in the movie after he dies. He's killed in Vietnam. Forrest has a big sequence where he's heroic and goes back to save Lieutenant Dan, who. Their lieutenant leading their platoon in the jungle where they are. Lieutenant Dan has had a family member of every generation fight and die in every single American war. Not every generation, but every American war, from Revolutionary, Mexican-American War, Civil War, all of these things, World War I, II. And then so Lieutenant Dan is there injured in Vietnam, and he wants to die. He's about to go out like a hero, and here comes Forrest Gump to save him, which was the right thing to do, but not to Lieutenant Dan. He's very upset about it. He feels like his men died and he lived, and that is unfair.
And quickly, the Run Forrest Run. This isn't also. It also kind of goes back to that because Forrest, he stands no chance against. I think they're surrounded.
They're sending a helicopter in to bomb, or they're sending in a bomb.
Yeah, so they have to run, or else they're gonna get messed up. So. The Run Forrest Run by Jenny, it's kind of another symbolism towards that.
Right. Mm-hmm. So the military takes up a good part of the movie, and it's really important for Forrest. you know, he grows from it, but also Forrest is simple. He kind of remains the same throughout, falls for the same things.
Yeah, it doesn't really affect his mentality that much.
No,
Except
you would
for
think that anyone coming out of war would be a more jaded human after that experience, and you don't see that at all.
Right.
Yeah, but he also goes back to like help out Bubba's family, because I mean they are kind of poor. So he helps them out, and then he keeps like his legacy alive with the name.
He keeps his promise too, and we will get to that too. So after the military, we come back. It's the late 60s. Forrest, it's hippie movement. Summer of Love is coming up. Forrest gets back. He's a hero. He shows up in Washington to meet the president for like the 5th time, and he's in Washington D.C. and there's a huge anti-war rally. Huge. And Forrest comes out not understanding the context of the premise and gives a speech, but you know what happens there.
Yeah, the general or whoever, the sergeant, like not sergeant, sorry, whoever.
Someone.
Yeah, one of the main like army guys.
Unplugs the microphone.
Unplugs the mic, yeah.
So Forrest can't.
But
nobody hears him.
Yeah, but he did like expose, like he did say too much.
Yeah, it was probably in the best interest of to not have what was supposed to be said.
Yeah. It's so funny. It's so funny how like that like hippie lady like pushed the guy out of the way and like and then I think what was his last words? I think his last words of that speech.
Oh, it connected right for his like last 3 words.
Yeah.
And it was something silly.
Yeah.
Was it?
That was it.
Oh,
I don't know.
Jenny was there, and I think that was the start.
That too.
That was the start of the Black Panther movement, right?
Yeah. So we also see at this time more of the civil rights movement and the Black Panther movement. Jenny is hanging out with the Black Panthers and is hanging kind of with a guy who's more. Well, she's with a white guy, but the guy's in the group, and then this guy's abusive and slaps Jenny, Christ. And of course here comes Forrest.
Forrest is helping her
to beat him up, and of course Jenny gets mad at Forrest. She'd rather let him hit her, and I'm not blaming her. It's hard to get out of a relationship like that.
Forrest is right
but
there,
also like Forrest is right there.
Forrest is right there, bro.
Helping you, and you know that if he sees someone hitting you, that he's gonna defend you.
10 out of 10. Forrest is right there.
I think it's interesting how the Black Panther people are portrayed in that movie, like very militant and scary.
Well, that's what it was, though. Yeah. They were like that, and there were deaths attributed to the group. They were fighting for the right thing, but there was violence. So. I think that was a good representation.
I think the history, though, what history taught us, like Black Panther was like supposed to be like connected to what's homie's name? Not Martin Luther King, but
Malcolm X.
Malcolm X, and Malcolm X was kind of the opposite of
Martin Luther King. Yeah, he believed in a violent approach.
Yeah, so I think they did an okay way of presenting it, but. It's not just like civilians just like fighting back or like
just people being violent. It's
exactly.
I'm hitting Jennies of the world.
These guys actually had like their freaking like the camo vests on and everything, bro. These guys were strapped. Okay, so next topic would be this. Oh, we already talked about the Vietnam War, civil rights. Jenny. We didn't actually. No, sorry, Jenny. Box of chocolates.
Box of chocolates.
Yeah.
Well, throughout the movie takes place while Forrest is waiting at a bus stop, and then as he's talking to strangers, it's giving flashbacks, and then it always comes back, and he's talking to one woman, and he tells her that life is like a box. His mama always told him that life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
And his life is unpredictable.
And Forrest's life is pretty unpredictable like that, and he goes with the flow. He takes what he gets, and he makes it work. He learns to run. He overcomes in the military. He's a hero.
All the celebrities that he's been around, bro.
All the presidents. I mean, Forrest is
He really goes with the flow, though. Like there was never a goal to go to college, to be in the Vietnam War, to meet the president twice, to do the ping pong. There was never any of these goals. He really just was rolling with the punches.
Right, and he's good at everything he does: running, ping pong, fighting in wars, giving speeches.
I think even after what's homie the dude that passed away. The music dude, the
John Lennon.
John Lennon
was
dude.
Assassinated.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to that cameo. That was a cameo though, bro.
Well, they use CGI. For
That's a joke. I know.
Oh,
I know.
okay.
I know he died way before that. I know he died way before that.
Because you can kind of tell it's like weird CGI because it's 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's not that good.
Yeah, I can't with early 2000s CGI. That'll ruin a movie for me real quick.
Right.
Yeah.
Considering how good it is now.
Yes.
So yeah, we have those moments, and then now Forrest is kind of finally an adult, and
the park bench. This is where the adulthood kind of scoots in.
care to elaborate?
So the park bench, I think this is like the biggest. It's like the most symbolic part of the movie. It was enough. It was so symbolic that it was like on the front cover of like the DVD cover. So he starts the movie off at the park bench when he's talking about his life. I think like the first I think almost the whole like more than half the movie he's on the park bench. He's just talking about how his life, his whole life basically, his whole biography, and so he's basically comfortable enough to talk about his whole life. And then when the lady tells him that Jenny's like still around the area.
Yes.
And then the whole sequence with Jenny, we'll talk about in a second. But basically, like when Jenny kind of reveals like her sickness, what was her sickness?
She had AIDS.
Yeah.
And basically, so they were on a park bench when she was talking about all that. So so it kind of goes into. She was comfortable enough to tell him that, and then to ask him to marry her, like while being on a park bench. Park bench is like kind of like an equal ground, like comfort zone, but an equal ground because they were one or the other. They were one or the other. Like every time they would kind of talk or communicate, one of them was always in the shitty situation. Forrest when his mom passed away, and then Jenny with like her dad, the Black Panther movement, and then like the strip club. I think like one of them was always going through some shit. So it was kind of like the park bench was kind of like that equal ground, so they can kind of like be vulnerable and like express themselves in a positive way.
Right. And back to Jenny. So we have Forrest growing up. Now he's an adult. Forrest's mom dies, and he gets the farm, inherits everything. And then Jenny comes back and is a while just kind of stringing him along, and it's perfect and it's nice. And then Forrest wakes up one day and Jenny's gone. She ghosted him.
She calls the taxi. This is when she leaves in the taxi, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's a good point in the movie where you see just how lonely he is and you feel really bad for him. Like that's very not relatable, but just like...
It's like he finally got everything and nope, here comes...
Yeah, and that's life. Like you want everything, but you still don't have the one thing that's really going to make you happy.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is Jenny.
Mm-hmm.
But Forrest goes and finds Jenny. She reveals she's sick and dying. She doesn't say she has HIV, which has turned into AIDS now. It's just implied because of the time period. Now we're in the 1980s when we had the AIDS epidemic in the U.S.
And she says doctors can't
right,
find a cure
and
to it.
her symptoms and everything that she explained.
And she had a lot of fun.
Yeah, her lifestyle. I mean, we see her using drugs during some point, and it could have been a number of things.
She was even thinking about falling off. Like I think she was like in a tall ass building, and she was actually like contemplating
that was
hanging
very
over
fun.
the edge.
No, yeah.
Jesus Christ, this movie like hits you, bro.
Right.
This movie hits.
But we have a big reveal when we see Jenny.
Oh yeah, so that's when. Okay, so basically, when Forrest and Jenny is probably the taxi when she left in the taxi. Maybe it was during that time. Obviously they had a kid. Because she ghosted Forrest
He didn't know she was pregnant.
Yeah, he didn't know. So when the lady at the park bench told him where she was, he goes to see her, and it's revealed that they have a son, and the son is kind of older, like probably like 5. I would say 5. Before 10. He was younger than 10.
I think he's like 4
or
5.
Or 4. Oh, okay, 3 or 4. And so basically,
well, she asks, like, Jenny, is he like me, or is he smart?
The same name, his name is Forrest. Like,
no. He asks Jenny. He says, is he smart or is he like me?
Yeah, you're right.
Implying that he's not smart when even though he's very rich by now from this whole silly boating accident.
Accomplished before the boating accident.
Yeah, worldwide famous ping pong #1 champion, running champion, football champion,
hey, John Lennon cameo with John Lennon.
Yeah, war hero. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah, he's done more than probably like Elon Musk level stuff.
And Jenny says he's perfect, and he is, and he's smart, just like Forrest.
She should have said that 10 years ago.
I know.
And then so the kid, so little homie comes, and he's bonding with little homie, and then I think he was playing at the park one time, and then so the whole sickness. Jesus Christ, this movie.
Right.
Hits. God damn, I remember watching the movie. I was like, wow, like it hits you. And
that's.
Sum it up. She passes away, buried like near the house, so he can.
They're always together.
Yeah. And then the movie ends.
That's the end of it. Just him crying at her grave, right?
No, he drops little homie to the bus stop.
Oh, I see.
And
It
all comes back.
And then the feather.
It all comes back around.
Yeah. So that is our analysis.
That's
of
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Long.
It's a long ass movie. It's really good though. Check it out. Watch it with your brothers, sisters, family, anybody. Just watch the freaking movie. It's really good.
Thanks for joining us, and tune in next week to hear our analysis on the Avengers.
There will be no second episode. Bye, everybody.
When it's done. Bye.